Hi guys, I'm Susanan. This is the Daily Grind, and we are back with Diablo 4 content. There was a lot more that I was going to upload before the start of the game on June 1st, but yesterday and most of the day today, we found out about basically Blizzard has backstabbed a lot of content creators on a whim for no discernible reason, and I'm using Hog here because he is one of the most famous smaller YouTubers, content creators that are covering or are going to cover Diablo 4, and I agree with pretty much all of his takes. I posted on the Diablo 4 subreddit when they said there's Cradle, there's an elite group of content creators, YouTubers. It especially pissed me off about this dude with a hoodie. No disrespect to him. I have now mixed feelings and opinions about the quality of his content and his honesty about content creation. Because previously it was more like you are overthinking a lot of things, but they check out. So okay, it's good content. I just don't like the way he presents that. Hog is very much more vocal and genuinely angry about this stuff, and I back him up completely on his takes on this. Blizzard gave a certain number of content creators secret access to the game, to the full release version of the game. We're not talking server slam. We're not talking closed beta. We're not talking the first open beta that you had to pre-buy the game, and then you got one weekend, and then we got the next weekend open for everybody, and then the server slam. No. They have access to the full game with the full storyline, with full drops, with the full mechanics already in place, maybe even already patched, because this thing is going to get a day one patch, especially for consoles. Because that's one of the ways companies combat piracy. This is still a difficult game to pirate. But still, that's a standard procedure for, and has been for maybe a decade now. You print your games because they have to be on shelves beforehand. They don't arrive at the day of launch. You have to ship them. They have to reach the stores. Every store has to have a stock of the physical copy. So pretty much you have to have everything ready a couple of weeks beforehand. And in this process, that's how it was done before. Somebody stole one of the physical copies, gave it to a guy to extract the content of the games, and they started pressing them and distributing and pirating. Okay, I understand why that happens. But what is not cool is giving access to a random elite, and these guys were handpicked because it's pretty much the guys that have a website dedicated to this kind of stuff. And even though giving an early copy to reviewers, to press people for specialized magazines, for specialized websites. I can understand that. I don't think it's fair for content creators because of the way we work around our material. You have to play, you have to record, you have to then take the recording, edit that, record the voiceover maybe, and then compile that into a video file, and then you upload either to YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, wherever you are publishing your content. So that's time that as a content creator you have to take the decision. You have to make a willing and deliberate decision. I'm going to stream for maybe 5 hours or 6 hours. Then I have to go download my stream, take the best parts, edit those, or if you're a bigger YouTuber or content creator, you have a team that has access to your streaming platform, and they can download that video, edit that video, give it a comedic timing, or making it epic, or whatever they need to do in order to for the product to be attractive to you people, for you, the viewers. But this takes time. So now us, the smaller creators like Hog, myself, somebody, I don't know if Majestic, I wouldn't consider Majestic a small content creator. Like if Udillo, if Rax, even Criterion don't have a big number of subscribers. That's because previous to this game, most of them skipped Diablo Immortal or tried to cover Diablo Immortal but decided to stop covering that game because of the animosity from the viewership. Even though I personally, in my Spanish channel, had a lot of success with Diablo Immortal. I had troubles with my PC. It went out. I was down for almost a month and I lost that viewership. But Diablo Immortal was a very kind game to me, for my audience and stuff like that. But you know why I had that kind of success? Because everybody started at the same time. We started all on day one. We had to stream. We had to go back, do some things, record video that was visually appealing, did that, do our study of the mechanics, come up with a guide, work that into a video and upload it. And that's always a race. For content creators, that is always a race. It's a race for time to come up with the best strategies, with actual advice that works. And if it's a mobile game or a free game, that those are usually the most expensive games you can play. Come up with the strategies to spend less money or spend no money and still be successful and still have a good time. But this is bullshit on the part of Blizzard, because they effectively killed this race. And and we are not even touching the hardcore server race. That 1,000 people, the first 1,000 people that reach level 100 in hardcore, they are gonna get their name inscribed in a real life statue of Lilith. No, because there's not going to be 1,000 people that reach level 100. It will take months. And very obviously, these content creators that got early access to the full game, they already reached level 50. They already know the capstone dungeon. They already know the strategies to do that. And once the game comes out, it's not like, because the community manager, one of the developers from the game, told, but what's unfair? We're going to delete their characters and we're going to delete their progress. They're going to start at level 1, the same as everybody else. Yeah, but it's not like you can go inside of their brains and make them forget what they already played and what they already designed. And they're just gonna breeze through on the first day. And they're, believe me, I know this, they are going to look completely amazing. How am I supposed, as a small content creator, this channel in English is very small nowadays because I concentrated myself on the Spanish channel. But Diablo 4 is a game that is going to be very good. It's going to have a very good reception, both on the Anglosphere and on the Latin American sphere, or, well, everybody who speaks Spanish is going to be looking for content for this game. One small advantage I have is that, well, maybe now my Spanish Diablo 4 channel is going to have a better audience than the English-speaking one, because most of the people in Latin America or even in Spain don't consume English language content. But this is still bullshit, because these guys that got access to the full game and have been able, because they didn't get access for a couple of hours, they gave the game to them for over a week. And their access, that means that the server slam finished and they had access to the full fucking game. And that's why we see, I suspect Don the Crown has access to the full game. Raxenterax, well, we all know that everybody that is involved with a D4GG, and perhaps even Lothric, because very curiously, in the past week, they figured out how the damage formula works for the game. You know how you can do that? When you have access to every fucking mechanic in the game. When you can actually take the quests for the Barbarian and the Druid and make their builds work like they should, and then mysteriously you start posting things about the Barbarian that many of these in the channels for these guys go against what they did in the server slam. It's not building on top of what they found out works during the server slam or the open betas. No, they changed their builds completely different. The progression of skill points allocation is completely different in their new builds. That means they know how the game works. So how is Hog or myself or other small streamers, YouTubers, going to be able to compete with that? We still have to play. We still have to figure the things out. Even fucking Woody just said. And sorry, it wasn't Woody. I don't know. It's one of these other guys that their channels are small because the previous game was Diablo 3, and that was over 12 years ago, and YouTube didn't exist the way it exists now, and Twitch wasn't the platform that it is today, and nobody really knew how to make a channel grow. Now everybody knows how to make your channel grow, how to get subscribers, how to get followers and stuff like that. What's the workflow needed to create the videos? Even one of these guys said, I guess now it's going to be just, well, let's copy what these other dudes did. So there is no wonder in it anymore. There is no camaraderie because People are not going to be exchanging knowledge. We are just going to be repeating what these guys do. And why are we going to be doing that in the first days? Because they obviously finished the game. They know what works, they don't what doesn't. So everything is going to be a cookie cutter. Everything is going to be the same. If you play a barbarian, it's going to be the exact same leveling thing, and then you're going to change that into whatever it is you want to make it. There's still that freedom, but that doesn't change the fact that the most efficient thing has already been discovered. So yeah, I'm with Hogan with this one. He's very pissed off. I'm very pissed off too, because this is Blizzard. We have been, I in Spanish, Hog in English, along with other small-time streamers, YouTubers. I don't include Asmongold because Asmongold is going to drop Diablo 4 as soon as the controversy wanes over, as soon as the initial hype is over. He's going to switch to another game and start his process of riling up his audience over and over again. And in some of his takes, I agree with him. Everybody's trying to finance you, okay? Especially game developers and game publishers. If you are an avid video gamer, yeah, everybody's trying to finance you, all right? But he's not going to be there for the long haul. He's a successful YouTuber, has millions of followers. He is not going to commit to a game anymore for a year or a year and a half, because he doesn't need that to make his audience grow. So he's just gonna play it, he's gonna act all dumbfounded whenever he dies, and he's gonna bitch and moan and throw down the keyboard and mouse. And I don't know. I don't know, dudes. I don't know. The game is not good because I'm losing, or some bullshit like that. So it's guys like Hog, myself, and other small-time YouTubers. We, the people that want to grow into the future, we are going to cover the game for maybe 2-3 years until the next Diablo comes out, or until the next big game comes out. There's gonna be Street Fighter 6 in the same week that Diablo 4 comes out, so I don't know. I don't have the skill anymore to play Street Fighter 6 competitively. But I think it will be fresher than doing Diablo 4, because pretty much the guides are already made, and they're going to start publishing them on the 30th of May, like 3 days from now, on Wednesday. They're gonna start. That's when the review embargo lift up, and you can bet your ass each and every one of these motherfuckers that got early access to the game are going to flood YouTube, because they know that on the first, the following day, they know that on the 1st of June, everybody else is going to do reviews and start doing theory crafting and stuff like that. So you can bet your asses that these motherfuckers are going to, well, they already have the content uploaded, and it's going to open throughout the day on the 30th and the 31st. All right? You're gonna see it, and we are gonna get buried under all that hype. And I'm certain Rax and Rudio and Creeparian and whoever else got access, probably Riker or has access to, and that's why he's been keeping a low profile, not really talking much about Diablo 4, because he already has the content ready to go out on the first minute of the 30th. and they're gonna bury us. They're gonna bury everybody else. I will be surprised if Queen 69 didn't get access to this. Apparently, Asmongold didn't, but that guy is a master of finessing, so he's probably just playing dumb. He's probably just playing dumb. So anyways, yeah, this is a bitter take. It's not whining, but I'm genuinely pissed off because this fucks every small streamer for a single game. Because there's no way, we have no way to compete. It's not fair. That's the thing. It's not fair. It's completely independent of if you cover Diablo 4 or covered any Diablo game. It's not as apparent because a lot of these content creators did indeed play Diablo 2 or Diablo 3, and they had very small channels for a very long time because most people weren't interested in those games, even today. On Twitch, you can go and check, and D3 and Diablo 2 Resurrected have maybe 4,000 or 5,000 people watching at any one time, and that's divided among 20 or 30 streamers. So the streams themselves are for very low numbers of viewers. But this effectively fuck us over. The biggest channels for the Diablo franchise are small channels compared to what is considered successful. It doesn't matter if you can make a living out of your channel or not, because most of the time we are still able to make a living out of our channels. But it's not the same having a channel where 20,000 people watch you like they do Asmongold on Twitch, and when it's only 200 people, which is high, but that's still considered a small channel. That's still considered a small audience. You can really say that you got a big channel when you have over 1,000 people watching at the same time. That's when you know you made it, on Twitch or on YouTube. If you are able to get above 1,000 people watching you at any one time, at the same time, that's when you can say, I did it, I made it. And this thing that Blizzard pulled on us, on the small streamers, it's going to ensure that we are never going to get 1,000 people at the same time. Because why would you watch me if I can give you drops? Why would you watch me if my guide is going to come out a week after launch? Because I have to study the game. And there's this other guy that his guides were published 2 days before the launch of the game. And when the game launches and you're going to start trying these builds that they made, they are going to work because they are not theoretical builds, they are builds that have been tested. That's the bullshit. That's why Hog is mad. That's why I am mad. And every small streamer should be mad. Because you, the audience, should be mad. You know why? Because this is pretty much Blizzard pigeonholing you into watching specific streamers who very coincidentally stopped shitting on Blizzard. You wanna guess why they stopped criticizing Blizzard and their decisions and started making excuses like, okay, maybe this could work? Because they had access, and if they started talking against the company, they would have lost that access. Some will say, well, they were intelligent because they didn't go against the grain. But that means that well, their interest is not in making a good guys on equal ground against everybody else. They just want the audience. So, all right, I'm going to leave you alone and see you on June 1st. We're going to be on Twitch. The channel is Sethonan. You can look for me. I'm going to be streaming from the start, trying to not read any guide and do this thing honestly and genuinely. And I know I'm also not going to get a lot of audience because there's this thing where if you buy 2 subscriptions of a small streamer that is on a restricted list, you get a new skin for your mount. Well, sadly, I'm not going to be able to offer you that because that was handpicked by Blizzard and I wasn't picked. I will only be able to offer you the normal drop prices because there's going to be universal drops starting on the 5th. But everybody's going to get that, and guess where people go for those kind of drops? They go for the bigger channels because the bigger channels are guaranteed to be streaming 4, 5, 6 hours or maybe more. But anyways, we'll be there. Just subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, and we'll be seeing each other next time.